Hey, what's up guys? So today's video is going to be some Pilates moves, and these are for beginners. Now Pilates isn't easy for anybody, even if you've been working out for a long time, because it does really concentrate on those core muscles. It's the core muscles are what's harder for us to build. We tend to build for some reason our legs and arms faster, and that's because those are the muscles that we use the most often. We tend to not really focus on our core muscles doing daily activities, so that's why it's a little harder to build those muscles here. So core muscles, as I've said before in our Facebook group, is the muscles all along the torso. So that includes the entire abdominal region, your obliques on your sides, your lower back, and your upper back. So those are all the core muscles that Pilates works. So today's moves are going to be just 7 simple moves that you can do. None of them are extremely hard, so you won't need a terrible lot of balance for. But if you're just starting to do Pilates, you should be able to do these moves fairly easily. So we're going to start off, we're going to be on the floor, and just going to sit on our bottoms, and we're going to start off with something called the 100. What you want to do is let's go ahead and lay on our backs, and we want to start off in our natural state for our spine. And what that is your shoulders and your upper back are flat on the ground. There's a small arch in your lower back where you should be able to fit your hand under, and as well as under your neck. Only the back of your head should be touching the ground. This is our natural core state and spinal state for our backs. And what you want to do to engage the lower abdominals is to make your belly as flat as possible. It's kind of like sucking in your tummy, except you don't want it too flat to where, let's say you're holding a little marble on your pelvic region. If it rolls forward, that's great. If it that's a good spot. But if it rolls too far forward, that means you're sucking your tummy in too much, and it's going to end up falling on your chest, and that's not the proper engaging of the core. So you want to kind of like suck it in and tighten the muscles, mainly tighten. You don't want to necessarily suck in your tummy to where you're creating that indent in there. You want to engage the core muscles and tighten your belly without losing your natural core state. So we have our belly tightened now. Place your hands at your sides. Remember, you're trying to keep the core engaged while keeping your natural state as well. You're going to pick your legs up off the ground, and with your arms slightly elevated, you're going to pump. And you're going to do this 100 times in sets of 5. So you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember to keep that arch in your back, only your shoulders and the back of your head on the floor, and you'll repeat this until you get all the way to 100. If that's a little much for you, then you can cut it down to just 50. Our next thing is we're going to roll like a ball. We're going to actually curve our spine so that it is curved on the floor. Pick up our knees, put your hands behind your knees, and we're going to start just by rocking like a little rocking horse, just so that you can gain the momentum. And then we're going to come up all the way to our bottoms, and then roll back onto our shoulders and back up to our bottoms. And you can do this for about 1 minute. You do this for about 1 minute. If 1 minute's a little too long, then you want to go down to 30 seconds. If you think you can do more, do 45 seconds if you can't do 1 minute. So you'll just keep doing that. Make sure your back stays curved. And it's kind of going to be massaging your spine as you do this. And you should be rolling up and down. Try not to come all the way down. I kind of came up too quickly there. To the back and to the top of your buttock. And roll back and forward. Now, the important thing is you don't have to do that super fast as long as you're doing it correctly. If you're not doing that correctly, you're not gaining anything from that exercise. And what that's doing is it's another core exercise. You have to keep all the muscles in here stable in order to maintain that curvature in your spine so that you get that rolling effect like a ball or a seesaw. Now, if you don't keep your spine consistently curved during your rolls and you tend to flatten, you're going to end up bumping one side or the other, potentially injuring yourself. So you do want to make sure you stay in the ball and you're rolling up and back, maintaining your control so that we're not going too far forward or too far back. You shouldn't be so far back to where your head is hitting the floor. You only want to roll up onto your shoulders, or roll back rather, onto your shoulders. And our next thing is our single leg circles. You might have seen me do these before in our early workouts. What you'll do is you'll have one leg bent, put your legs as close together as possible. You're going to pick up one leg and, oh, whoops, I'm sorry. This is the single leg teaser. This is the single leg teaser. So pick up one leg, keep your legs as close together as possible. And then with your opposite arm, you're going to reach forward to that other leg. Now, in this case, you do want to make sure that you have your natural spine state, that only the back of your shoulders is on the ground and the bottom of your spine has a little curve in it and it's not on the ground. Engage the core muscles first, and then you're ready to begin your workout. And you want to do this. This is a little bit harder since you are engaging your core the entire time. And you're also trying to maintain that natural spine state. If you can, do 10 to 15 on each side to begin with. If you're ready to do more, go ahead and do about 25 to 35 of those on each leg. So let's go back to our single leg circles. It's a similar start position. You want to get your natural state and your core engaged. Pick up one leg in the air. Actually, let me go ahead and do the other leg since I worked on the other leg last time. And you're just going to simply move your leg in a circle, maintaining your natural spinal state and a tight core. We're moving our leg in little circles, around and around. And we want to do this for about 30 seconds to 1 minute each leg. And then once you're done with that leg, you just switch over to the next leg. And once you've done it outwards, and you've done both legs with outward circles, then you can next move into inward circles. Not forgetting to keep that spinal natural state and your core engaged. Next, we'll move on to the saw. We're going to come up and sit up with our legs out in a little V, not very wide, but kind of a little more than shoulder width. And what we're going to do with this one, I'm going to scoot back, hand to the side so you can see what I'm doing here. We're going to do with this one is when our legs are out, we're going to take our right arm, reach toward our left toe, take our left arm, reach it back so that we look like we're like a double-handed saw, two-sided saw. And we're going to reach forward and rock back and forth. And we're just rocking and moving back and forth. We're not coming up and down. It's like a saw. So it's like we're pressing towards our toes and then pressing back. Don't forget to engage your core before you begin that exercise. So what you want to do is take a deep breath. As you blow out, engage your core, reach over and back, and then perform the exercise. Then you'll stop, and you can do probably that for another 30 seconds to a minute. And then you switch to the other leg. Remember to engage the core. Breathe in, out and tighten. Forward with the left hand, back with the right hand, and saw it. So that is your saw. And the next thing actually we're going to do is called the mermaid. So for the mermaid, what we're going to do is sit on our hip with our knees bent backwards. We're going to engage our core, breath in, tighten, stick your left arm up, and we're going to reach over and back and over and back. Actually, I think I'm doing that wrong. It's supposed to be this way. Yeah, because you should feel a stretch. So knees go one way. You pick up the opposite arm, engage your core, and we're reaching over to the side. As we're engaging our core and reaching over, we're squeezing the muscles to come down, to reach over. So you'll do that probably about 30 seconds to another minute, and just simply switch sides, and come up with the opposite arm from the direction your legs are facing. And again, work with the mermaid, core engaged, and you're just slightly leaning over and coming back up. Now, if you're wondering what to do with your other hand that's not doing anything, take it along your thigh and place it on your hip that you're not sitting on. You place it on the hip that you're not sitting on, helps keep your balance, and helps to do the exercise properly so that you're also engaging your core properly. Now, once you've done those for about 30 seconds to a minute, I want you to come back down to the mat one more time, and we're going to do a leg march. See, it sounds a little simpler than it is, but since this is Pilates, you're going to come to your natural spine state. Remember, that's the little arch at the bottom of the back, shoulders down. The back of the head is on the ground, but the neck is not. We want our chin always up and our airway open. Engage your core. And we're going to come up with one leg and then the other. Maintaining your natural spine state. Don't forget to breathe in and out. And this is our march. We're just simply picking up the leg, up and down, like a little march. And you'll do this again for about another minute, 30 seconds to a minute. Make sure you are maintaining your natural spinal state the entire time. Your back should not be coming in as your legs come up. So your back should not be hitting the ground. Your lower back, that is. You should always have that little arch in there while you're doing the exercise. If your back is coming down to the ground, you're not doing this exercise right, and maybe you're trying to kick your legs up a little bit too high. So, natural spinal state, engage the core, and bring the legs up and down. So they're more like, when you're bringing them up and down, it's like a 90-degree angle, if you can see that. 90-degree angle. So you don't have to worry about bringing the leg too far back. As long as you're maintaining that natural spinal state. And that completes your today's lesson on how to. Okay, ask your brother to help you or go by yourself, please.
Can you help me?
Okay, so that completes today's Pilates for beginners, and just some 7 simple moves that you can do. And hopefully you try this out. And if you do, let me know. And I want to know how you did and how it made you feel. So I'll talk to you all again really soon. And have a good rest of your Wednesday.
Mom, I've actually done the songs at my school.